To make it easy, to make it understandable, I'm going to just simply tell you the names of the conditions that can lead to OCD symptoms, and then talk very broadly about knowing if it's medically mediated or if it's something psychologically mediated, as in OCD. Also, just to mention right at the outset is that obsessions and compulsions as a result of general medical conditions or a drug are very rare. It's very unlikely this will happen, but it does sometimes happen. Okay. The most famous general medical condition linked to OCD symptoms is Sydenham's chorea, and that is a condition, is a disease that occurs invariably in childhood, although it can surface in adulthood. And people with Sydenham's chorea usually have particular twitches in their faces and their feet, but they may also develop compulsions and obsessions as a result of their condition. Post-encephalitis is another condition which can lead to obsessions, compulsions, and encephalitis is essentially an inflammation of the brain, an infection. Once people have experienced it, reached recovery, particular portions of the brain may become damaged, lesions may occur in damaged areas, and those lesions can then lead on to the development of obsessions and compulsions. Usually soon after recovery this will happen, and remission can happen on its own after encephalitis, but sometimes it can be associated with it. Head injury, for example, can also lead to it. And some people may have had a particular trauma, a bang to the head, a road accident, whatever it happens to be, can lead to it. Partial seizures, so some people with a type of epilepsy during seizures may present with obsessions and compulsions, and they will be referred to as ictal phenomena. They're things that happen during that partial seizure. Anything that leads to calcification of part of the brain called the basal ganglia, so Huntington's disease, Barr's disease can lead to it as well. And both of these conditions can lead to obsessions and compulsions. Okay. And the lack of oxygen to particular organs in the body can also lead to it. And these, these can happen for various reasons. There could be injuries or whatever it happens to be. People may develop OCD symptoms after that occurs. And clozapine. So clozapine is an antipsychotic drug, or a neuroleptic, it's more also called. And in the UK particularly, clozapine is often seen as the last resort of treatment in people with psychotic conditions such as schizophrenia. And someone taking clozapine may develop obsessions and compulsions as a direct result of that. You would know from an interview, from a clinical interview, if someone is taking it. And people who are taking clozapine will invariably be going to a clozapine clinic, so they'll probably tell you about that. So how do we know if a general medical condition or this clozapine is causing it? First of all, does the person have it? Secondly, is there some sort of psychological reason behind it? So it might be that you are performing rituals because you are very discomforted by obsessions, and therefore you have a psychological urge to do it. And for that reason we could say actually there's probably a psychological need, so it may well be a psychiatric condition, i.e. OCD. If symptoms do not seem to be psychologically mediated, so it might be the person engages in repetitive behaviours, but it's not because they want to neutralise the distress caused by their obsessions. That may well be that the medical condition is causing it, and that obviously the person would need to be diagnosed formally with it. The gold standard would be, medical evaluations saying that there's a direct link. We don't always have the luxury of knowing that, but we can have a good guess from looking at the psychological mechanisms behind it.